Welcome everyone to Tabletop Baseball. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dynasty League Baseball Online. Now this is from the designer of Pursue the Pennant, the board game. And there is also a board game version of this, Dynasty League Baseball. Now you can come here to dynastyleaguebaseball.com to find out more about this Dynasty League Baseball Online. We're going to be showing that today. I'm going to be playing a game, as a matter of fact, here in just a minute with the designer himself, Mike Cieslinsky. But my understanding is, and from what I've seen, I have not played the board game version. But from what my understanding is this emulates the board game very well, almost to a T. And we'll get a greater look at that here in just a moment. But that's what you want, in my opinion. That's what you want. You want the computer game to emulate the board game, because I'm playing the computer game more than likely because I don't have time. This is for me. More than likely because I don't have time to set up and play the board game. Or maybe I'm just relaxing on the couch and with my laptop or whatever, and I want to play some baseball while I'm watching a movie. That's kind of the way I approach the PC versions. And so I want it to actually emulate the board game. Show me the dice, show me the cards, show me the charts, stuff like that. I don't want it to be different. That's just my preference. Some of these companies, I think they tend to try to make their PC game different, and I think that's a mistake. I think it should be just like the board game, because that's why people like the game so much. And plus, you can see the engine at work. I can see the dice roll. It's not just I'm clicking and boom, the guy pops out. Well, what was the roll? I don't even know what happened. And again, that's just me. Alright, we're going to come back here in just a minute. I'll be hooking up with Mike. It'll be the first time I've ever hooked up with another player, so we'll see how that goes here in just a minute. Alright, so I've received an invite from Mike. He sent me an invite. You can look up here under messages, and let's see here, accept. I've accepted the invite. Redirected to your friend series page where you can join the game. Okay. Texas. He's 2011 St. Louis. Does that mean I am join game 2016? So I am the 2016 Rangers at the 2011 Cardinals. Okay, I was trying to make it 2011 Rangers, but here we go. Ready to start. Winds are calm. Busch Stadium. Thursday, October 20th, 2011. Even though I'm waiting for opponent. Even though I'm the 2016 Rangers. I tried to change it to 2011, but I might have messed up. Or maybe he already... That's why he was asking me my favorite team. He might have just put that in there. We'll see. Waiting for opponent. So far, I like the ease of how easy it is to connect with another player. This is more like a PlayStation or Xbox type of way to connect. Some of these other games, it's very difficult to connect. This is the first game of your playoff series. You need to set your roster for the entire series now. The only substitution will be allowed to make regular series and replace injuries. Okay. So I'm going to accept everything. I don't need to demote or remove anything. I don't think. I'm not going to. There is a chat window down here also. Texas 16. Morning, Mike. Talk on the phone for a few minutes as we start. Yes. We can. I will give Mike a call here. Let's see.
Hi, Earl. How are you?
Hey, Mike. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. So we're off and running here with our series. So there's actually a timer that goes through each screen. Each screen's a little bit different. Right now you should be at the select starting pitcher screen.
Right.
So go ahead and make your selection, and that'll take us to the roster screen.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, it'll take us to the lineup screen. I'm sorry.
Right.
And then we can select lineups. Now, you have a couple choices. You can either... Have you played a practice game yet?
Yes. Yeah, I've played about 3 games so far.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah, because you can load in historical lineups just by clicking the Get Lineup Assistance button, or you can go ahead and put in your own lineup, or you can edit.
Mm-hmm.
You can edit the lineup once you go ahead and click the Get Lineup Assistance. So.
Okay. I will do that.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but down in the bottom right-hand corner, where it shows opposing pitcher,
mm-hmm.
you can click on that, and that brings up the opposing pitcher's stats. So that's real important when making out your lineup.
Okay, right. Chris Carpenter.
I don't know if you've noticed that before. Right. Now, because this is a multiplayer interface, you're seeing a different screen than I'm seeing. You're seeing your lineup selection, I'm seeing my lineup selection, instead of sharing the same screen. So. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like the way this works. It's more like a Xbox or PlayStation type of connection instead of, I don't know, some of these other games. It's like pulling your hair out to try to get connected with somebody.
Yeah, well, it's almost impossible. Yeah, because you have to get like an IP connection and then enter the IP number, and then a lot of times that does not work. And then we had this problem with the old Windows version that we had in our Sunday Night Baseball League. It just became really difficult because all of our games were played head-to-head, and trying to connect, sometimes it would take half an hour to connect, or sometimes you couldn't connect.
Yeah.
So that kind of was the impetus to design the new Dynasty Baseball Online game as a true multiplayer game that would make it very easy to connect. And you can see it's just like you click the button and you're connected, and here we go.
Right.
So it's really easy that way.
Yeah, I love that part of it.
Yeah, that's what makes, I think, this really different from any other game that's out there. Is just the ease of playing someone multiplayer. So here we are. We're in Busch Stadium here. I thought the 11. Oh, did I put in the 16 range? I meant to put the
2011.
Did you change it?
Well, I meant to try to put in 2011, and I think it just went ahead and took 2016 I probably messed up, but it was probably...
well, we could back out of it, and we could, if you want.
It doesn't matter.
It's really easy.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm fine with 2016, if you are.
Okay. Put your mouse over any of the ratings.
Right.
That it'll tell you, it'll have like a tool tip that tells you what the rating is all about. It describes, like if you put your mouse over Albert Pujols 65, it tells you that's the air rating, ranges from 5 to 100. 100 is the best. There's a lot of ratings for catchers. If you put the tool tip over the last A, where Yadi Molina is on the very right-hand side, furthest right.
Yes.
you can see that that's his handling pitcher rating, and he's got an A, which is excellent. So that's based on like catcher pitch framing, and also just his ability to handle pitchers. So it's kind of a combination of those two factors. So let's go ahead then and start.
So on display options, can I change those and it changes everything, or just my side of things?
Just your side of it. So you're in control of your own display options. The default display options are set to display like the most important charts that come up. I think they're interesting because it gives you a peek at the game engine, and you can see the ballpark charts come up and the player cards come up. Whereas if you didn't have, you could turn that all off, of course, and you wouldn't see any of the inner workings. And some people like that, but I think it's good to start out and at least have that understanding of what's going on. And I think you had mentioned you wanted to also play the board game, which we can get to later, but I think this gives you kind of an idea of how the board game works, because you actually can see the results coming off the cards. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like being able to see how the engine works, having the dice roll on there and the cards and all that stuff. That's really key for me.
Right.
So
go ahead and make your offensive selection. Okay, so here's a line single off of Andrus's card. Yeah, and so the way it works is 0 to 4. You roll the percentile dice, and 0 to 499 is always on the hitter's card. 500 through 999 is on the pitcher's card. And then you saw also the situation results. And most of the time you're going to have a normal result, but there are other situations that occur as well. I think one of the more interesting set of situations for the pitcher's cards are the three ratings: the jam, which is how the pitcher does in runners in scoring position and 2 outs, the off rating, which is how well the pitcher does in preventing a leadoff walk, and then the on rating, which is for those pitchers who rarely give up a home run with runners on base. So you can think like pitchers like Dan Quisenberry or Kurt Schilling or Dennis Eckersley rarely give up leadoff walks, or Jim Palmer with the on rating that never gave up a Grand Slam home run. And then the jam ratings, there's lots of pitchers that we had. Dwight Gooden in 1985, he's a good example. I mean, there's Pete Vukovich is a really great example. When he won his Cy Young in '82, he littered the bases with base runners, but it seems like he had uncanny ability at getting that runner out with runners in scoring position and 2 outs and getting out of the inning. So he'd strand a lot of runners. Right. So those 3 ratings are really important in terms of replicating ERA, because it's situationally dependent. Not only the rate of number of hits and walks and home runs against the pitcher, but also when those are actually given up.
Okay, so the error.
2 out, possible error here. And I'll show you the percentage of the chance of being an error based on his error rating. And we just had an error on Schumacher here.
Okay, so first and third, 2 outs.
Now here's the jam situation, because there's 2 outs, and you can see that Carpenter is orange. That reflects that the jam rating is in effect.
Right, okay. That's cool. Yeah, we'll swing away. Rougned Odor.
And that's out of it.
Struck him out. Not a shocker there. Odor striking out.
Right, so now we're going to flip over to the bottom of the inning. Now, another thing you may not have noticed is you can click in the upper left-hand corner on the scoreboard, and it flips it over to the other scoreboard. And that shows you like the weather and just the line score.
Okay.
And then if you click on that scoreboard again, it flips it back to the stat scoreboard, which shows you what he's done for the season in your simulation, and then his actual stats. So it's a really interesting way to compare easily your simulated stats to the actual stats. And we've done a number of season replays, especially now with the online version. It makes it really easy to do that. And most of the, especially when you get to the team stats level, you'll find that most of your stats are going to be like within 95% of actual. So it's in terms of statistical accuracy, it's very, very accurate. With the individual players, there's always more variance just because they have smaller sample sizes. So
right.
But once you actually look at the teams as a whole, you get more of a larger sample size, and you can expect greater accuracy. But even the individuals, of course, most of the time they're right on with most of their stats. There's always that variance.
Well, another error check here. Looks like.
Yeah, here we go. And the third, now the error ratings are based on their individual positions. So it's more likely to have an error on the third baseman than you would have on, let's say, a catcher or maybe a center fielder. Because in those positions, there aren't that many errors.
Right. Okay. So Beltre committed the error.
Yeah, and you probably have done this, but if you click on a player, like I just clicked on Pools, it shows his complete set of stats all the way up to his 2011 season, his actual stats, his splits, simulation splits, and also if you click on the fielding tab, it has his fielding stats. And then, of course, his player card is up there, too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
It's a really nice display. Yeah. Did you try that before, or did you miss that?
Yeah, I've clicked on them before and seen that. Yeah, that's really neat.
Great. So, yeah, the interface is it's very easy to use. I mean,
it is. There's no doubt about it. I mean, like I said, it's more like almost a video game, PlayStation type of deal. So that's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of the people who played it describe the interface as being like really crisp, and I think that's a good description. It's very sharp, very easy to use. So
double play.
Yeah, that certainly helped. Darvish there.
Yep. Strikeout. And like you said, you can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want. You can have as much detail in the play-by-play as you want, or as little as you want.
Right, exactly. You can change that, and it's easy to go back to the default. Also, you can just click on the default, and you'll get back to the default option.
Okay, so when it has a question mark after it, is that another check or on the result?
Yeah, if it's in regard to base running is always in parentheses. So I'm not sure where you saw the.
Well, it said ground ball, ground out, and then question mark.
So that means that there's right. So you need to check the ground out advancement chart. Whenever there's a question mark, that means either there's an option to, like in base run advancement, to advance an extra base, or that would mean that you would need to go ahead and reference a chart.
Okay.
So most of the time, though, when you're playing the board game, I'd say 75-80% every play, or each 80% of the plays are resolved in one dice roll. There's no outside charts.
Yeah, I like that. Double for, who's that, Holiday?
That's Matt Holiday,
yeah.
But the charts come up, but there's also there's a lot of depth in Dynasty baseball, so it's very interesting in terms of a lot of different results that can happen. You may play for years, and then something new will happen that you never saw before.
Right. Let's see.
David Freese, the hero of
yes.
2011.
I know. I don't like that guy.
And there he is. He comes
oh,
through.
Man. So it's line...
right on time.
So it had the question mark there, but was that not a check or anything? It had the question mark after?
Are you looking in the text play-by-play to see the question marks?
No, it was on the card. It was...
on the card itself. Okay.
Yeah. Line drive single, right field, and then question mark.
Yeah, so that particular result, that was in parentheses. That just means that there was a chance for the runner to go an extra base. That's what that means. Anytime you see a question mark in parentheses, anything in parentheses is based on advancement.
Okay.
So normally it would say, 1 to 2, which means runner goes from first to second, or maybe it would say 3 to home, so runner, or 2 to home, runner and second goes to home. But it might give you a question mark, which would give you an option to, instead of just going 1 base, you could go 2 bases. So.
Okay.
And I just put the hit and run on with Yachty up. And we have a range play, so 71% chance of Moreland making the play, and 89, so a high number is bad for the defense usually, because it means the lower numbers are better for the defense on a range play.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Error check on the first baseman. 94% chance.
Oh, a 0 to 5, a low. Now it's the opposite with the errors. With the errors tend to be the lower numbers.
Man.
And then the higher numbers tend to be the plays where the fielder will make it. So
I'd almost accuse you of manipulating the dice there a little bit. You got the inside track.
I wish I had that power.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Carpenter's going to bunt.
Oh, I should have brought the corners. I wasn't thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, so as a defense, if you think it looks like a bunt situation, you bring the corners in, that'll give you a better chance of preventing the advancement.
All right, let's see here. 2 outs.
And here's for a call.
Struck him out.
No, Darvish gets out of it.
2 runs, though. Rarely walks the leadoff man.
So now that's the off rating popping up. So it shows you that on some results, a walk will change into a foul ball. You can actually see that if you pull up if you put your mouse on Carpenter, you'll see his card pull up, and you'll see if you roll versus right-handers, let's say a 939, you see the walk result.
Yep.
Actually, we have to look at the hitters. I'm sorry. So, put your mouse on Desmond.
Okay.
And if we rolled a 184 versus a righty, the walk results with the kind of green-colored foul, it would turn into the foul question mark, which would be checking the foul territory instead of it being a walk. And that's only in the situation where you're facing the leadoff batter and the pitcher has the special situation off rating.
Oh, okay.
Then it would change that result from the walk to the foul ball. But what's great about it for the board game is that it prompts you right on that line. So your normal result is always going to be a walk. Then when you see the other result, it prompts you to say, hey, is this a situation where you're facing the leadoff man, or does he have that rating? In most cases, he doesn't. So in most cases, it's just going to be a normal situation, because the situation ratings are special ratings that are pretty judiciously given out. So it's definitely an advantage for those pitchers to have those special ratings. And you won't see them, for example, on pitchers who have a very small sample size of innings. So the pitcher has to earn those ratings. He's got to get a certain amount of innings in order to earn those particular ratings. No cheapies, no cheap ratings.
Yeah, right. I like that. So ground out to Schumacher.
And John Jay.
Ground out to short. Again.
Yeah, so that question mark, we just refer you to, in parentheses, we just refer you to the ground ball advancement chart.
Right, if there was a runner on base.
If there was any runners, if there was any runners on base, the ground ball advancement chart would tell you what's happening.
Okay.
In the case of the ground out, that typically is a force out. So if there's a runner on first, he would be forced to be like a 6-4 or 4-6 or 5-4 put out.
Okay, so rarely allows home run with on base, with runners on base.
Right, that came up for Darvish. Yeah, you can see Darvish if you click on his, or not click, but just put your mouse on Darvish. You'll see that for his situation ratings, the only situation rating he has is the on rating. So it comes up in this situation because we've got a runner on base.
So if a result comes up and the light pink is an option also, then it goes to the light pink result?
Yeah, so now where this would come up is
deep drive.
If you look at Darvish's card by pulling up his card, you can see versus right-handers, if you roll 656 to 718, that would be a deep drive. Well, because he has an on rating with runners on base, that deep drive, which gives you a chance of hitting a home run, the deep drive with a question mark means that we're going to access the ballpark charts. And the ballpark charts are very detailed in terms of checking to see if the home run was a home run in any of the 7 different outfield locations. They'll even tell if it was a longer home run, like over the Green Monster, or onto Wayland Avenue, or onto Sheffield Avenue. It'll actually tell you the number of feet the home run was hit as well.
Okay.
So for this particular result with a deep drive, you would change it to a foul question mark, which checks the foul territory. Since he has the on rating, we have a situation with the runners on.
Okay.
So that's exactly where that particular rating would come into play if you rolled those particular numbers.
Okay. Matt Holliday popped him up. He's from my hometown, by the way, Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday?
Yes.
Okay. And what town is that?
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Okay, that's right. I remember he played football there.
Yep. He was going to go to Oklahoma State, but he went straight to the major leagues. So.
Major leagues, right.
Yep. Of course, his dad was a coach at Oklahoma State. So.
Now, I decided to steal with 2 outs at Pujols since I've got a fairly decent chance of making it, and Pujols is going to try a pickoff. Or Darvish is going to try a pickoff. Right. So now, that was my attempt, so I can't attempt again during the at-bat.
Single. So now you can try to go for third if you want?
Well, we'll see what options it gives me. Yeah, it's going to give me an option to go, but I'm going to say... Now, if you click the OK, that means that you're actually not going. You have to click on the little checkbox.
Right.
And if you notice that, click on the checkbox and then OK, that means you approve the decision to take that extra base.
There's old David Freese again.
Yeah, he's been clutch. So let's see how he... Yep, struck him out this time.
Paid him back for that last time.
Can't get hit every time, I guess.
No. All right. Rarely walks the leadoff man. Okay.
Now, have you figured out how to get pitchers up in the bullpen?
Yeah.
Try that out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a simple thing to remember is that you need to get a pitcher up 2 batters before you bring him in.
Okay.
Between innings counts as a batter.
Okay.
At the bottom of the inning, you'd want to get him up before the inning ends, and then he'll be ready to face that first batter.
Okay.
Because you got him up before that last batter of the inning, and then the between innings is another batter, so he'll have his 2 batters, and he'll be ready to come in to face the first batter.
Okay. Infield single. That's pretty rare for Beltre. He's not the swiftest guy in the world.
He actually, early in his career, was really fast. I think he had, of course, this year, he only had 1 stolen base, but earlier in his career, he was faster.
Mm-hmm. So I tried the hit and run, and he pops it up.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for the hit and run kit. I mean, there's obviously the pros and cons of hit and run, because you could line into a double play.
Mm-hmm.
You could strike him out, and if you strike out, then you also lose 2 off of your steal rating on the hit and run, because it's not a straight steal, so it's not as easy to be successful on the steal if you hit and run and you strike out as a straight steal.
Carpenter's pitching pretty good so far.
As expected.
Yeah, 2 hits. Error check. Possible error. Shortstop. Ratings of 50, and it's an 11, so he did commit the error. Is that right?
Boots it.
Yep.
And 50 is, for a shortstop, a 50 error rating, pretty average to mediocre. That's
100's best, really so it's right in the middle.
You're going to have you can expect quite a few errors with that 50 error rating. Now, there's where the jam came up. You see how it was in orange?
Orange, yep.
That's where the jam, so the jam result changed what would have been a single into a strikeout, because Carpenter is tough in jams. And that rating is determined by how well he does in runners in scoring position in 2-out situations in terms of his batting average allowed, his slugging percentage allowed. For the most part, that's the most important stat when assigning that rating to any pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And you're noticing also here it tells what the player did as he comes up the bat with the little screens that come up. I think that's kind of a neat effect of what he's done for this game.
Let's see. Struck him out.
Yeah, and you see how the pitcher gets larger on the strikeouts?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the fifth bump or the fist when you strike him out. So that was kind of like what that was supposed to represent.
Okay. So foul, question mark, foul territory check.
Right, so it's going to access the foul territory of Busch Stadium. And Busch Stadium is a normal foul territory.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Darvish has to bat. Let's see, we're in the 5th. Yep, he's going to hit.
And he got a hit. Rare hit here.
Yeah. I think he hit a home run. Was that last year? I think he hit one out.
Yeah, well, he had an A power rating, I noticed, that caught my eye, so that means he did have at least one home run. Probably didn't bat very much.
No. Mm-mm.
actually tells how many at-bats he had. He had 3 at-bats if you look at his card. So, in those 3 at-bats, he had a home run.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. First and second.
Yeah, here another jam here that Carpenter's in. Let's see if he can get out of it. He's got the heart of the order coming up. He can get out of this.
So ground out to third. Or
That's
no,
the force out,
to first. Okay.
And you can see that Beltre is a clutch hitter against the jam. So now, when you have a pitcher who's a jam against a hitter who has a clutch hitting situation rating, they cancel each other out.
Oh, okay.
So results that normally would have been in orange and would change that single that turned into a strikeout that we saw earlier, that would just remain a single because they're canceling, or Beltre is canceling out Carpenter's jam because he has the clutch hitting rating.
Okay.
And that's just the reverse. So the clutch hitting rating is how hitters do with runners in scoring position, 2 outs in terms of their batting average and their slugging percentage.
Okay.
So here we go. Big situation right here.
Yep.
And Carpenter gets him.
Grounded out. Yep.
He's been tough in that situation. And at any point here, you can click on the box score in the lower left corner.
Uh-huh.
And that brings up the up-to-date box score, in-game box score. And you can see with left on base, the Rangers have 7 left on base so far. The Cardinals have 4 left on base.
Yeah. Very cool features. I like it.
Yeah, and you can also, I don't know if you noticed, in that same box score, if you click on the game summary, that gives you every play in the game. So you can recount every at-bat in the game as it happens. And when you're in a league, what's really cool is that you can watch other games in your league being played in real time and watch that game summary update. So it's like watching an updated account of the game, so you can actually scoreboard watch. Even better than scoreboard watch, because if you're at the game, you only see the score change. You also can see the score change on your league page, and that's changing in real time as the games are being played. But this even goes further because you can see the box score changing and the game summary. Now, another thing I should point out that you might not have noticed is that the endurance counts down during the game. And if you go ahead and put your mouse over the furthest right rating on Darvish, you can see it says remaining endurance 0 batters.
Okay. So that means I need to get somebody up, probably.
Yeah, it means that he's reached the end of his endurance, but he's not tired yet. So what happens is once he reaches 0, he needs to give up 2 base runners before he actually goes into the tired situation. Okay. And so you still have a little bit more time with him. But yeah, once he gets to 0, good idea to start getting someone up in the bullpen because you don't know when those next 2 batters will occur. Especially if you're getting like the heart of the order, it becomes more likely that they'll get on. And when the pitcher's tired, there are some ramifications where he's going to give up more walks, he's going to give up more home runs, more hits.
Right.
So much less effective. And the other thing that's new this year is that he also has an increased injury chance. So you don't want to leave in a pitcher who's tired and is
right.
He's
more susceptible to injury.
Stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's under stress right now. So you don't want to stress him out and risk further injury. So if I put somebody up in the bullpen right now, will they be ready next inning? They'd be ready in next inning. Okay. Yeah, because they won't sit down until the next half inning is over. So they'll be ready when the next inning starts, when you get them up this half inning.
But if I put somebody up now and then I let Darvish start out the inning and he gives up, say the first two guys get on, would he be, would he have to sit down? Would he be...
No, the relief pitcher will still stay up. He'll stay up and through the next half inning.
Okay.
So the pitchers that you're warming up now in this half inning will stay up through the next half inning.
Okay.
So they're not gonna sit down until the end of the next half inning once you get them warmed up. And you can warm up the pitcher twice.
Okay.
During a game, and then the second time that you warm them up, though, if you haven't brought him into the game the first time, if you don't bring him into the game, then he'll be tired when he comes in because you've used him too many times in the bullpen. So the second, if you don't want to burn out your bullpen, you have to kind of plan accordingly in terms of how you're managing those warm-ups, which is something a manager has to do, and you start thinking right along with how managers have to manage their bullpen, and even get to the point of how often you warm pitchers up. Because right now, managers actually count how many pitches pitchers throw in the bullpen. It's become
right
detailed. So. Carpenter's really rolling here.
Yeah, he is. 2 outs, nobody on. That's a single.
Now, we're going at a pretty leisurely pace here. But typically, our games move at a faster pace, so you'd be able to play a game in easily 30 minutes. But most of the games probably range from 20 to 30 minutes, I'd say. And, of course, the lower scoring game, the faster. So higher scoring game, it's going to take longer.
Let's see here. I'm going to get somebody up here. Yeah, struck him out.
Bush warming. So I think it's kind of cool that you actually see the pitcher warming up in the bullpen. And when you look at the bullpen and you see Bush there, you can see that in parentheses it'll show how many batters he has before he's warmed up. Now it shows that he's ready, so he's ready to come in at any point.
Well, I've got Darvish leading off the next inning, so kind of want to try to get him through.
We don't want to use him up, use up a pinch hitter and another pitcher, so that way you can save him.
So far, so good. Oh, here's David Freese. Of course, single. So now, basically, if another guy gets on, he's pretty much done, right?
Yeah, and he'll show you that. He'll show you that he's tired. He'll turn yellow.
But he's going to get out of it.
So sometimes it happens right away. That the pitcher, once he gets to that zero endurance level, he'll give up those 2 additional base runners pretty quickly. Other times you can kind of stretch him out a little ways, and doesn't happen right away. But yeah, at this point though, with only one more base runner to give up, good idea to probably remove him because you need to get that pinch hitter in there anyways. And of course, you just go to the substitution button, which you already did.
Yep. Brought in.
And there's that off rating coming up for Carpenter again. That's a line out.
Umpire.
Yeah, so this has all kinds of different results from the catcher handling results. Like there it came up. So Yachty with his A handling. Says he has the scouting reports down. He's calling it a nice game.
And strikes him out.
There's other effects in the umpire chart where the umpire chart is actually named after the umpire ratings because the umpires are graded for their strike zones. So some umpires have normal, large, small. If you look at Young behind the plate, you can see he has an N by him. That means he has a normal strike zone. If you put your mouse over there, it'll show you his normal strike zone. So obviously, umpire with a larger strike zone is going to be giving up or allowing more strikeouts and getting that call in the corners.
Okay, so I'm trying to put Matt Bush in. He's already warmed once, so he's not actually warm
so
now.
You should be able to put him into the pitcher slot.
Right. Let's see. Let's see. I went to substitution.
I can't remember if you had him warmed up. Because he sat down at the end of the last half inning.
Right.
So I think maybe you forgot to get him up again.
Oh, okay. So I did get him back up. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it because once you get to that half inning, he sat down at the end of the last half inning. And you need to get him back up. It'll actually always show you if you look in the bullpen up in the upper middle section. It'll show you who's available in the bullpen. So you'll actually see him sit down. So you'll have to bring in a pitcher, I guess, who's not warmed up. We have a rookie mistake here, Earl.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens is that he won't be warmed up, or he'll be pitching with a tired result, which just makes him less effective for the first two batters he faces. So it's like the penalty for not having a.
Okay, so I went to the substitution menu and substitute. It says substitution Bush for Chew.
Okay, so you have to click on the pitcher spot in the lineup.
Okay.
So once you highlight the pitcher spot in the lineup, it will give you the dialogue. Then you can go ahead and select your pitcher. Because you want to first indicate what spot of the lineup you're going to be substituting into. So you want to indicate the pitcher is going to be substituted.
Okay. Oh, that was the deal. It said he's not warmed up. Putting him in, it kind of warned me, putting him in, he's not.
Yes, it warms you, right, and you can see he's in the game now, he's not warmed up, so that's why he's yellow. So
it takes two batters to get him warmed up?
Maybe I wasn't clear on that, but the pitcher stays warmed up through that next half inning, but then he sits down.
Right.
He obviously can't be up the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the half inning, he has to sit down, and then you could go obviously warm him up again, and knowing that you're going to bring him back in. So if you're not used to it, it takes a little bit to learn that, but you pick it up real fast.
So basically two batters, and he'll be warm.
Yep.
Okay.
And here's a range play to Andrus, who's got C range.
And Chris Carpenter beats it out. Oh, man. Now we need a double play balls right here is what we need. Fly out. 3H means runner at third would hold. if there was?
No, that H means home.
Oh,
that
home.
Would mean that the runner on third would go home. But
Goes
if there's
home.
a question mark, that means he has the option to go home.
Okay.
So that would mean that I have to see that result again. But yeah, so it's just an option to go ahead and advance the extra base. But H stands for home.
Okay.
Hold.
Okay. Walked in.
Yeah, so when you see 3 -H question mark, that means runner on third has a chance to tag up and go home, and you go to base runner advancement chart.
Let's see.
Big situation here to break the game open. You can see Pools with his clutch integrating in this situation. Bush gets out of it. We've had a tight game here, big pitcher's duel.
Yeah. Top of the 8th inning. It's getting down to the nitty gritty here.
Down to it right now, yeah, it sure is. You can see Cardinals have a couple pitchers warming in the bullpen just in case.
Okay.
And you see Carpenter's now down to his 0 endurance.
Right. He's still doing good, though. Oh, struck him out.
Struck him out. Carpenter rolling.
Shutout. 4 hits. Let's see. I'm gonna go to these. So if I want to bring him in, Matt Bush or Dyson, I go to the substitution or the bullpen.
Yes.
Substitution.
Right. Substitution.
And again. Well, I had him warming up. See, I had him warming up while we were in the field, or while we were. While we were in the field.
You must not have had him warming up because he would have been shown warmed up.
Okay. Well,
you might not have clicked the OK button. You might have selected him, but you also have to click the OK button to warm up a pitcher. But you did it right before, and you'll see him in the bullpen too. So I mean, just as a check, you can look up in the bullpen in the upper part of the screen, and you'll see him warmed up. So that's how you can always check that you did it correctly. But you can try to get someone up right now. You can try it right now.
Yeah, I already clicked the pitch button though.
Oh, okay. So
I'll start it after this batter. Right now.
Okay.
Alright, bullpen. Let's see. So it says he's warmed once. Warm up Dyson.
Okay, so go ahead and there. See, he's up now. So he can come in 2 batters. Now, since there's 2 out, I want to get a possible relief pitcher for the top of the 9th. So once you click pitch, I'm going to go to the bullpen.
Okay.
And you can see my pitchers, Salas and Mott, are warming up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it.
Another strikeout.
2-0. This has been a real pitcher's duel.
All right, top of the 9th. Let's see. I'm going to go.
Chris Carpenter masterful, so we're going to go with our ace. 4-hit shutout.
All right, let's see.
One thing we haven't had is we haven't had any deep drive results during the game which access the ballpark charts, but who knows, maybe they'll even come up here in the 9th.
Let's hope so.
For your sake,
For
right?
me, yeah. All right. Jonathan Lucroy, come on. Hit by pitch. There we go. Now we're off and running.
Yeah, this would be the wrong time for a deep drive to come up now because this is the tying run.
Old Mitch Moreland, lefty. Let's see.
Oof. And that could be it
Single.
for Carpenter here now.
So send Lucroy to third, 68% chance. I'm not going to.
And Carpenter is tired.
Leaving him in? Or are you thinking about it? Taking him out?
Well, he's definitely coming. He's definitely coming out. We're just figuring out which pitcher we're going to bring in here. So, okay. So, Jason Mott, and you notice here Jason Mott has the on rating.
Let's see. I might want to. I'm going to pinch hit.
Ooh, Carlos Beltran. Good move.
We'll see. Hopefully, come through in the
Dangerous
clutch.
batter.
Yep. Oh, struck him out.
Huge at bat there.
That was. Obviously, we're going to the substitution again here. Let's see. Let's just give Prince Fielder a chance.
That was his last season.
Yeah.
Before he retired last year. And a double play.
Oh man, that ends the game, doesn't it? Cardinals winners as usual.
So the Cardinals remain victorious over the Rangers here, going back to 2011 Cardinals against even the 16 Rangers had the same problem.
Yeah, 6 hits to 5 and 9 left on base for the Rangers and 7 for the Cardinals. So.
Yeah, awful close game, but yeah, I think the story of the game was just how many base runners that Carpenter stranded out there. He was pretty masterful.
Two errors for the Rangers and 3 for the Cardinals.
Yeah, kind of a sloppy game, but the pitchers pitched around those errors, which was pretty impressive. So, and we can go to the box score here now, and we can see here that Freese had 2 for 4 for the Cardinals, and Moreland 2 for 3 for the Rangers. Carpenter gets the win, Mott gets the save. And you can see our managers.
Yeah, I'm 0-1.
And then the it shows the temperature, weather 53 degrees, shows the umpires And then we can go to the game summary, click on that, and we can see that, scroll all the way down, and we can see that exciting ninth inning and how all that played out.
Yeah, we had a chance there. Rangers had a chance. Got a couple runners on, but could not bring them in.
Yeah, plenty of chances. So, yeah, so I think you get. Hopefully, I gave you a little bit more of an insight into Dynasty baseball.
Yeah, very cool. I like the way it plays and the way it represents the board game and the ease of or how easy it is to connect with somebody. That's really awesome. So, yeah, I'm very impressed with it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, when you're actually in a league, I don't know if you've tried to go in any of the greatest teams tournaments, or you kind of obviously can't be in a public greatest teams yet, but the greatest teams tournaments are kind of fun starting out as well, because what it is, it's a bracket style tournament. So think like NCAA men's basketball tournament, except for the greatest teams of all time. And it's single elimination. So every game is like a game 7. And the cool thing about the Dynasty Baseball online greatest teams tournaments is that everything is updated in real time. So you can actually watch the bracket being updated in real time. So you'll see the teams move in advance in the bracket in real time, and you also see the scores being updated. And like we showed you before, you can even click on the score, and you see the game summary. So you can see play-by-play in real time of any game going on in the bracket. And it gets to be real interesting, you know, like the 64-team bracket. You've got all of these things going on, you know, and it's really interesting. We had our USA Today greatest teams tournament that we hold every year back in July, and just really interesting to follow all the teams. The 69 Mets happened to win. So it's interesting because with this type of format, it's not always the best team that wins. It's the team that might get hot on that particular day. And
can you use the same pitcher every game, or do you have to?
No. You have to follow the pitcher rest regulations.
Rotation.
So you have to go through, because there's pitcher rest regulations as you go through. Games 2 and 3, the pitchers have to rest, so you have to follow. Now, the whole greatest teams tournament is done in a matter of a few hours, or even less, depending on how big the bracket is. So it's not like this stretches on and on. It's a real quick way to play, and it's a lot of fun just to get in something quickly, and it's fun to see the results and what happens. So
it sounds like a pretty cool deal there.
Yeah, and then the public greatest teams, the way they work is that it's an easy way to get in the league. All you have to do is click on the leagues, and then click on the greatest teams leagues, and there are 6 National League teams available and 6 American League slots available. So you just pick from one of the 83 greatest teams, your favorite greatest teams, and you'll see your selection go in once you make the selection. And then once the league fills, you'll get a message saying the league is ready to launch. Here's the home page for the league, and it'll also show up on your league page. You'll see the new greatest teams league on your home page. And then you'll start the season. You'll play a full 162 game season, and it's old school because you've got the NL and the AL. There's no interleague play. So you're in a full-blown pennant race for 162 games, and then at the end of the pennant winning, or once the pennants are decided and the season's over, then you go to the World Series and you play out the World Series. So it's kind of fun, and obviously you can follow your team stats along the way and individual stats, and everything is updated in real time. So that's what makes this so different, is that once you finish a series, you can look either during the series or after the series, and you see all updated stats, standings, leaders, and for a multiplayer league, that's kind of unprecedented. Yes, if you're playing solitaire on your standalone computer, you would expect that, but not when you're playing 11 other people around the country.
Right.
That doesn't, that isn't an option that was ever available. So that's really cool that you're playing all these people, and all their games are being updated, as well as your series, as the standings and stats are updated throughout the course of the season. So that's a great way to start. And then, of course, there are the draft leagues, and they typically carry over from one season to the next. And they're the most popular format because I think the aspect of the GM really adds a lot. So there's a set of official league rules that are the rotisserie league fantasy rules adapted for simulations. So you have pretty simple rules for things like contracts, and it's a bidding style auction draft. And those are the recommended rules for leagues, and they work really well. We've had our Sunday Night Baseball League using these same rules since 1985, and they allow for parity in the league where you can't stash away players indefinitely. So when a player's contract is over, you can decide whether to sign him for a guaranteed long-term contract, but you have to pay $5 for each of the years additional. So it costs a lot more to try to guarantee his contract, and you've got a $300 budget, so you can't just sign him for 30 years. Most of the time, people don't guarantee contracts, and then he goes back into free agency, which everyone can then bid on that player again. So,
okay. So where it says leaderboard, what does that mean? Like the points system and all that?
That's the leaderboard for the greatest team tournaments.
Oh,
so you can flip over through that, and there's a scoring system, like a point system, and then there's also one lost record. I think I'm still the leader. Might see someone you know. I think I'm still a leader in the one loss record on there. I have to take a quick look here.
Yeah, I think I saw your name up there.
Yeah, there's two tabs. There's one for the
current period points.
If you look at career record tab, there I am.
Career record, okay. Yep.
Slightly ahead of John C. in Florida. And then there's the career points. Then there's a career dynasty score. So these people have accumulated. They've accumulated points from like just leagues and tournaments and etc. No. This is only for tournaments.
Only through tournaments. Okay.
Only for the greatest teams tournaments. So that leaderboard only applies to that. The public greatest teams leagues have nothing to do with the leaderboard.
Okay.
There, you have your own league, and that's nothing to do with leader because you're playing out an actual season. So there's really no need to have a leaderboard because the winner is the team that wins the World Series. So that's
right. It's just the tournaments.
The tournament is just a different format. So that's why there's a leaderboard. But normally with all the leagues, the leaderboard is not needed because it actually shows you in the leagues the entire history of your league. So that is all on your home page, and you can see in our. I have to send you the link. Well, actually, you can find it here. You can go over to leagues, and then click on the private league directory, and then go to click on the All Private Leagues tab.
Okay.
And then I would say click on page 5 at the bottom. I think that's where we'll end up. Yes. And you see towards the bottom, second from the bottom, is the Sunday Night Baseball League.
Okay.
So so that's our league. So it shows that we have 16 teams. So how many games our season is, 90 games. Which season that we're using right now, 2016. How many series you have per week, the game days that the games are actually played on, or you obviously can reschedule when games are played, but that's when the games are actually scheduled for, the game time, and then status if it's in season, off season, preseason. And then there finally is a league page. So click on the league page.
Okay.
And that will take you to the home page of the league. And then if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you see where it says past seasons?
Past seasons.
Are you on the league page?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I got you.
Okay, so that shows you the entire history of the league and who was the World Series winner. It shows you the champion and who won the pennant, or who won the pennants. And if you click on any of those seasons, you have the complete season archived. So it will you'll be able to go back and see what the standings were, what the stats were, who were the league leaders, and also career stats are also accumulated. So just in our league currently, you can click on the standings right now, and you can see that we're having a heated race in the National League. I'm St. Louis, and Domingo is Atlanta, and we're in a dead heat for first place right now.
Yeah.
42 and 21, we're tied, so it's going to be an exciting finish here coming up.
You've won 6 straight.
I have. I've been doing very well here lately.
So are these all these teams drafted?
Yeah, so this is a private draft league, and it follows the official league rules. We're kind of the pilot league for Dynasty Baseball, and like I said, the Sunday Night Baseball League has been around since 1985, so quite a long run. And some of the original, we started out with the board game, playing at my house in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and now we're playing the online game. And some of the original people from that original league back in Brookfield are still in the league.
Still
so
going.
Now we can play each other, even though we're all spread out all over the country. We've got people in everyone from California to Virginia, Florida, Texas, Wisconsin, all over the place. So that's where most of the people are playing and active is in the leagues, because it's a great way to go ahead and manage your league with your friends, and it adds that GM aspect to it where you're building your team for the future,
right?
And making trades, and it adds it's fantasy baseball, except you're actually playing out the games. So as simulation players now, and it allows you to do that. Whereas a lot of the other online games, or all of them, you're not actually able to play any of the games. It's just simulated for you. So you can set the computer manager profile, but you can't actually play the games out, which for me takes away the fun. That's kind of like the adrenaline juice of the whole thing, is being able to play out.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun part of it. Managing the players. Yeah.
Right, and you can see, like, playing head-to-head is, I mean, we just played an exhibition game that didn't have any meaning in the standings, but you can see just how much fun it would be to be in a league where, there's some high stakes on the line there in the league. So, it's just the renewal rate that we have is fantastic. I mean, we rarely even have an opening in our league, and that's pretty much true of most of the leagues, that they have a very high renewal rate, so people who start playing really enjoy it, and it's something that they enjoy building their team and continuing on. So but there's a lot to do. I mean, you can even if you don't want to be in a league, you can play series, you can build a season replay league, or you can join. I joined a season replay league for 1970, and this is really cool because normally people think of season replay as, oh, I do a solitaire season replay. Well, this season replay was a little bit different in that we actually had live people. So we had your friends playing and picking up each of the teams, and you could actually play against other people that were managing the different teams in the replay. So that was a lot of fun in doing that. So, but you can decide to have a solitaire season replay just playing by yourself as well. So you decide when you actually create the league whether each of the teams is to be managed by a friend or the computer manager. So it's up to you to decide who's going to manage the teams. So you can do like a traditional season replay, but
yeah, I can definitely see why people want to come back. I mean, this is the best online game that I've seen. I mean, as far as a non-video game, more card and dice and board game replication. I mean, this is the best that I've seen, so I can understand why people want to stick with this one.
Yeah. Well, like I said, there's nothing else really like it because it's really designed as a multiplayer game where you're actually able to play out games head-to-head, and as you see it was really easy for us to connect and play against each other.
Yeah.
And
that's
just that ability not to, I mean, people are kind of suffering, I think, who are using other simulations where they have to go ahead and export files to a commissioner, who then has to import the files, who then has to send the files all back out, and then you finally have an update. Well, if only one person fails to send their file, you can't update your anything.
Right.
So
everything's done for you on this one. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had to go through that same process with the old Windows version, and as a commissioner, I just kind of gave up. It was just, if one person, we couldn't get them to send the file, and it just was a hassle. I mean, this just makes it so much easier as a commissioner. I just don't have to deal with any of that stuff. I mean, it is so much easier, and for the members as well, they can spend as much time just looking at the updated stats or standings or following the games in real time. That's something that, again, is really unique, is that you can follow other games in real time in your league and check how the standings are coming out. And that's a huge thing when you're in a league, and especially if you're in a pennant race, being able to see how the other teams are doing and updating the leaders. That's really fun to follow that. You can spend almost as much time doing that as playing the game.
Yeah, I can imagine. That would be fun. I'll definitely have to check it out and hope, maybe get into one at some point.
I think you have more of appreciation, I think, for the online version, too, and I guess vice versa for the board game.
Right.
Because, some of these questions that you ask as the game's going on, you'll now know playing the board game. Okay, so that's how.
Sure.
We kind of did things a little bit in reverse, although I realized that not everyone obviously has played the board game, and we're seeing more and more new people come in that haven't played the board game. So, did you get a chance to look at the rule book?
I have. I've looked over it.
Okay. So then that gives you an idea of how the game plays. Although actually playing it though is different though. You actually hands-on.
Yeah, I definitely would like to get the board game out there, let people see it too. So I think I don't know. I feel like there's PC players and then there's board game players, and there's not. I don't know that there's a lot of both. Maybe there is, but I'm kind of more of a card and dice guy. I like to have the cards in my hand, and I feel like the cards represent the players, and I don't know. It's just it's more of a connection to me. That's just
a tactile thing, having the dice in your hands and the player card, exactly,
and looking at the charts and all that.
Hopefully with the online version, I think it is a true translation, so I think It does convey that feeling of playing the board game, but of course, you're actually doing the lookups when you're playing the board game.
Right.
So, but yeah, they both are a lot of fun. I found that a lot of the people who play the online version, even though maybe they're not playing the board game version, like to get the player cards for scouting. And they'll scout their players for the new draft using the cards because it's just easier to look through them, and it's more tactile, and they can sort them in different ways. And so it's kind of like the scouting report for the leagues. But there are still quite a few board game leagues, though, of people who are local and have a group of friends together that play the board game, and then just a collection of all kinds of different people, like you said, that enjoy playing the board games. So so there's just a lot of choices, that you have. So.
Yeah, well, I think that's what you want. You want choices. That's
lots
what
of choices.
You want. Yeah. All right, Mike. I appreciate you letting me do this and getting with me. And I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's been like an hour and a half so far. So.
Great. Well, that's great. So I'm glad that we could talk about the game and can learn more about it.
Yeah, I'm going to put this out there and let people see what's going on with it. Hopefully get you more exposure with it.
Great. Sounds good. Right. Well, thank you again, Earl.
Okay, thank you, Mike. We'll talk to you again soon. All right. Bye-bye. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, you guys take care and God bless.